What's up guys? Today's video is on the best budget camera. Through extensive research and testing, I've put together a list of options that'll meet the needs of different types of buyers, so whether it's price performance or its particular use, we've got you covered. For more information on the products, I've included links in the description box down below, which are updated for the best prices. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. At number 10. Panasonic Lumix ZS100, TZ100, an older travel zoom compact that's still got serious skills. Back in 2017, we called the Panasonic TZ100 the perfect compact camera. And, while several models have since arrived with superior specs, the TZ100 remains a fantastic option for those after an affordable compact travel camera. Its metal shell is solid yet sufficiently small to slip into a pocket. The main controls are clustered on the back for easy one-handed control, while function buttons offer the welcome option of customization, and the touchscreen is responsive, too. On the go, we discovered that the TZ100's 1-inch sensor, which is larger than today's smartphones, delivers vibrant, punchy images with a fair level of detail for an older compact, even in low light. Dynamic range is also decent and noise isn't generally an issue. The 10x optical zoom will be versatile enough for most, while the option of shooting 4K footage makes simple vlogs an option as well. Sure, it's not quite as powerful as today's premium compacts, but the TZ100 is plenty good enough for taking travel snaps to share online and will still surpass most smartphones, too. At number 9. Canon EOS 2000D, a no-frills DSLR for beginners on a budget. It might not be the most exciting camera we've ever tested, but this Canon DSLR is a solid starter camera if you're on a tight budget. Very much an entry-level option. We noted in our review that the camera's finish felt plasticky. That said, we also commented that its controls were logically laid out and easy for beginners to use. In performance terms, our testing found that the 9.AF system came up short, with sluggish live view performance that felt dated compared to mirrorless rivals. Burst shooting was likewise slow. But the EOS 2000D also got a lot right. Battery life was better than similarly priced mirrorless cameras at 500 shots, while the 24.1 MP sensor produced good levels of detail, with reliable noise handling and reasonable dynamic range. It doesn't offer anything more than the Nikon D3500, but find it at a discounted sale price, and the EOS 2000D is a decent entry point to DSLR photography. At number 8. Canon EOS M50 Mark II, Canon's best budget mirrorless camera. Not everyone needs a cutting-edge camera, which is why the M50 Mark II remains a popular mid-range mirrorless model. A fun, approachable option that offers great image quality, the M50 continues to represent good value for money. In our tests, the 24.1 MP APS-C CMOS performed well, the noise was nicely controlled, while detail and dynamic range were impressive. It also has a large and bright EVF, along with a handy vari-angle touchscreen. Naturally, there are some limitations. The finish is a bit plasticky and lacks weatherproofing, and we thought battery life could have been a bit better. Its official CIPA rating is a fairly limited 305 shots per charge. Video shooters should also bear in mind that there's a heavy 1.6x crop when shooting 4K. Still, despite these quibbles, the M50 Mark II remains one of the best budget cameras around, as is its EOS M50 predecessor, if you can find stock. At number 7. Panasonic Lumix FZ80 a 60x zoom bridge camera with a super low price tag. The Lumix FZ80, also known as the Lumix FZ82 outside the US, is still one of the most affordable bridge cameras you can buy, but it remains a solid choice if zoom reach is your priority. Its lens goes from an ultra-wide 20mm all the way to the far reaches of 1200mm, and we found during our tests that produce decent image quality as long as you're aware of its limitations. We found it best to shoot no higher than ISO 800, or ISO 1600 in an emergency, so it's best to avoid low light. But in daylight conditions, it's still a very useful companion, particularly at this price, and we found that Panasonic's Power OIS image stabilization kept things nice and stable at longer focal lengths. Sure, the viewfinder could be better, but this remains one of the best cheap bridge cameras around. At number 6. Canon EOS RP, full-frame mirrorless shooting for accessible money. A portable full-frame mirrorless camera with a capable feature set, sound performance, and reasonable price, the Canon EOS RP is a compelling proposition for those looking to shoot with a large sensor. Built around the same RF mount as the EOS R, its native lens catalog is limited, but a bundled adapter at least allows you to use existing f-glass. Despite housing a 26.2 MP full-frame sensor, The EOS RP is remarkably compact yet reassuringly well made. Button placement will irk some, but we found both the physical controls and touchscreen to be responsive. With Canon's Digic 8 processor driving performance, autofocus proved fast and reliable. Burst rates dropped to 4 fps with continuous focus, but the AF generally did a solid job of locking on. We also found the buffer to be more generous than expected. At number 5. Polaroid Go, a dinky instant snapper at a compact price. Budget cameras don't come much cuter than the Polaroid Go. We love the vintage looks of this model in our tests. The pint-sized point and shoot is supremely easy to use. Its compact retro shell features just a few straightforward controls, complemented by a handy digital shot counter. Fixed focus and no macro mode mean creativity is a little limited, but the Polaroid Go does feature flash override, self-timer, and double exposure options to keep analog photographers entertained. Though the credit card-sized prints produced are a little on the small side, we discovered in our review that their pastel tones and impressive detail give them an eye-catching lo-fi quality. There are a few less expensive alternatives, and film refills could be cheaper, but you won't find a more accessible or portable way to enjoy the fun of instant photography. At number 4. Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV, a compact and competent stills camera for beginners. If you're an eager beginner who's in the market for a compact mirrorless camera, the Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV should be at the top of your list. An affordable micro 4/3 model, the Mark IV pairs a capable 20.3 MP sensor with impressive in-body image stabilization to deliver consistently attractive images using the kit lens. With footage capped at 4K, 30p and no microphone or headphone input, video isn't a major focus. Instead, this is a small, powerful camera for stills. We discovered in our review that dynamic range is better than anything a smartphone can capture, while the IBIS system keeps images sharp even when shooting handheld after dark. We found that AF tracking across the Mark IV's 121 points can be a little patchy, but improved face detection and subject tracking from the Mark III mean it's largely reliable. Our tip is to stick to center point focus and you'll find it fast, even in low light. At number 3. Sony Alpha A6000, it's a high-spec camera at a low-spec price. Don't let the price fool you. The A6000 costs the same as other entry-level DSLR and mirrorless cameras, but it's an advanced and powerful camera that has only dropped to this price through being on the market since 2014. So, it may be old, but most of the specifications still look surprisingly fresh today. This includes a 24MP APS-C sensor, a fast hybrid 179-point autofocus system, and continuous shooting at 11 frames per second, FPS. We found during our test of it that it delivered fantastic image quality. Its age shows in other areas, though. It only shoots 1080p Full HD video and not 4K, and the screen isn't touch sensitive, which we found to be a little frustrating for setting AF point. Still, the latter is still the case on many Sony cameras, and the A6000's high-end features ensure that it's a camera that will grow with you. At number 2. Fujifilm X-T200, our favorite mirrorless camera for beginners. We're still fans of the Fujifilm X-T30, but this cheaper, beginner-friendly version of that camera is our favorite mirrorless option for those starting out on their photography or video making journeys. It's a big improvement over its X-T100 predecessor in almost every way, including autofocus, and has a fantastic 3.5 inches rear touchscreen. Unlike the Fujifilm X-A7, see further down, you also get a viewfinder for framing shots, which is especially good news in bright light while traveling. We discovered that image quality was reliably lovely, and we love the retro design. The only downside we found during our tests is that the subject tracking can be a little hit and miss during burst shooting and isn't available for video, but otherwise this is one of the best cheap cameras around for those who want a new mirrorless model. At number 1. Nikon D3500, the best cheap camera for most people. The Nikon D3400 was a hugely successful and popular DSLR, and the Nikon D3500 has taken its baton into the mirrorless age. DSLRs may be less common now, but they continue to offer excellent value compared to mirrorless cameras due to their optical viewfinders, and the Nikon D3500 remains the best budget camera for beginners. Key changes over the older D3400 include an improved APS-C sensor, though still with 24MP, and an even better battery life of 1,550 frames per charge, next to the D3400's very capable 1,200 shots per charge. You also get a better grip and a slightly redesigned body that's a bit lighter, too. While it is also worth considering mirrorless alternatives to the Sony A6000, the D3500 is a bit more user-friendly, particularly if you want to use it with longer lenses. In our tests, we found that it delivered high-quality images and was super easy to handle and understand, particularly for beginners. Thanks for watching. For more details, follow the links given below in the description section. And if you are new here, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon.